After a routine check-in with my brother-in-law, he forgot to hang up and I heard him mocking me to his wife. He thinks covering our bills makes him a hero, they laughed. I stayed silent until the business loan day arrived. You ever meet the kind of person who shows up, does what's needed, and never expects a thank you? That's me. I'm Brian. I'm 34 years old, living in a modest ranch-style house in Kent, Ohio. I've been working logistics at a regional shipping hub since I was 25, and yeah, I live alone. No wife. No kids. No wild stories. Just me. I've always been the guy who fixes things. When the air conditioning broke at Mom's, I showed up with a toolbox and a smile. When my cousin got evicted, I cleared a room in my house before she even asked. But it wasn't until Dylan and Leah lost their gym lease that I really understood what that role cost me. Dylan's my sister's husband. He married Leah 5 years ago. They're the kind of couple people post about, matching water bottles, smoothie bowls, motivational quotes. They ran this boutique gym downtown, Elevate. It was supposed to be the next big thing. Custom programs, private yoga, the whole health is wealth brand. Then the landlord jacked up the rent and just like that, they were out. Leah called me crying. Dylan didn't. He never does. But I drove to their place that night, sat at their kitchen table, and said, let's figure this out. I paid off their startup loan. I co-signed for a new location near the highway exit and I automated payments for their electric, their Wi-Fi, and their business insurance. Just those 3. I made sure they were set to focus on the gym, not on bills. Leah hugged me like I'd saved her life. Dylan patted my back like we were old war buddies. But the thing is, I didn't do it to be the hero. I did it because that's what I've always done. Growing up, Dylan was the golden boy. Even back in high school, he was the kid who could charm teachers into giving him extra credit and convince my sister to do his homework. Family gatherings? Dylan told jokes while I helped set up chairs. Every 4th of July, I manned the grill while he made the rounds like a politician. He was the sparkle, I was the scaffolding. I never needed praise. I just asked that people try their best. That they meant what they said. But that gets hard when it's always you covering the gaps and no one seems to notice the weight you carry. You start to wonder if they even see you. Still, I paid the bills. Still, I showed up. Because deep down, I believed that was what family did. You gave until it hurt, and maybe, if you were lucky, someone would remember. Monday came, and I didn't touch the loan transfer. I got up like any other day, poured my coffee, checked the porch for the paper I don't even subscribe to anymore, and drove to work. The usual clatter of shipping manifests and warehouse radios filled the air, and no one around me had a clue that I was calmly severing ties with the 2 people who thought I'd be their permanent cushion. The first text came around 10:14 a.m. Dylan, hey, bro, did the transfer go through? Bank says it didn't hit. I didn't answer. At lunch, another one. Leah, can you check the Wi-Fi payment? We just got a notice from the provider. Said it bounced. Still said nothing. By the time I got home, there were 6 texts and 2 missed calls from Dylan, 1 from Leah. I put my phone on silent, placed it screen down on the kitchen counter, and grilled a chicken breast like I'd planned. Nothing fancy. Just salt, pepper, and silence. Tuesday, they tried harder. Leah, hey. So sorry to bug. Not sure what's going on, maybe the card expired? Can you take a look? Dylan, Brian. Come on, man. We've got clients this week. We can't have the Wi-Fi down again. Still nothing from me. I didn't block them. That would have been too loud. I wanted them to sit with it, that weird silence from someone who's always been reliable. Someone who never says no. By Wednesday, the tone had shifted. Dylan, if something's wrong, just say it, man. Don't ghost. That's not you. He was right. It wasn't like me. But maybe that was the point. At work, I processed a backlog of deliveries, signed off on a quarterly inventory check, and chatted with one of the new guys about brake fluid shipments. I laughed at a joke someone made about mislabeled pallets. I acted normal. But inside, I was watching a slow collapse. And it was almost peaceful. For the first time in years, I wasn't scrambling to fix someone else's mess. I wasn't angry. Not anymore. Just done. They'd built a life counting on me not to flinch. On the idea that I'd never let them fall. But this time I just stepped back and let gravity do what it does. I slept like a baby that night. No guilt. No second-guessing. Just a quiet kind of certainty I hadn't felt in a long, long time. Thursday morning, I made the calls. First was to the lender. I explained that I would no longer be responsible for the boutique gym's business loan, effective immediately. I told them to contact Dylan and Leah directly and that any future liability should be addressed with them, not me. The rep on the other end paused. You're listed as the primary on this. I know, I said. But I have legal grounds to withdraw. I've reviewed the terms. I'm no longer part of this arrangement. She didn't argue. Next was the property manager of the unit Dylan and Leah had leased for their gym. I explained the situation in the same calm voice I used at work when shipments went missing. He asked if they were aware. Not yet, I said. But they'll figure it out. By lunchtime, the silence cracked. Dylan, bro, the lender just called. What's going on? Leah, you didn't even warn us? This isn't okay, Brian. We could lose everything. Still, I didn't reply. That night, Leah sent 3 paragraphs via text. Started off sweet, overly sweet. Stuff like, we've always appreciated you. And, you've been so generous, and we've never taken that for granted. By the second paragraph, it shifted. This feels punitive. Like you're trying to punish us for something. Can we at least talk about this before you blow up our lives? And the third paragraph? That was the real Leah. The one behind the polite Instagram posts and gym selfies. You said you were committed to helping family. You're not just pulling support, you're pulling the rug out from under us. It's cruel, Brian. Cruel. That word stuck with me. Funny, coming from the people who joked about guilting me into paying their car lease. Later that night, my sister called. I let it ring. Then she texted. Leah's freaking out. Dylan's panicking. Can we talk? Please? Still nothing from me. Then Mom called. She was soft about it, her usual tactic. Brian, honey, they're scared. They've got clients and rent and employees. Maybe just walk them through it. I took a breath, pressed the phone to my ear, and answered for the first time all week. I've just decided to stop subsidizing disrespect. There was silence on her end. I could picture her sitting on the couch, lips pressed tight, unsure how to respond. Brian, I don't think this is fair. It's not about fairness, I said. It's about boundaries. More silence. Then a sigh. I just don't want the family to fall apart over this. It didn't fall apart, I said. It was never built right to begin with. That night, I didn't hear from Dylan. I didn't hear from Leah. The text stopped cold. Like maybe they finally understood. Or maybe they were just figuring out how to spin the story. Either way, I was done being the lifeline. They wanted independence. Now they had it, all of it. It started on a Sunday. I was making coffee, scrolling through my phone, when the notification popped up. Dylan Richards shared a new post. Title: When Help Turns into Control. At first, I thought it was just another motivational rant, the kind he posted between kettlebell tutorials and protein shake recipes. But then I read the caption. Sometimes the people who offer help the loudest are the ones who hurt you the worst when they take it away. My wife and I are small business owners. We've worked so hard to build something for ourselves. But when someone close to you decides to suddenly pull support, not because of money but because of power, it breaks more than just your budget. It breaks trust. It breaks family. This isn't just about bills. This is about control. About being punished for asking for help. About love with strings attached. Below that were pictures. The gym's grand opening, a photo of Dylan tying a resistance band around a client's legs, one of Leah smiling behind the juice bar. Then one more, blurry but emotional, of Dylan and Leah sitting outside what looked like their studio, heads bent together in a way that screamed, devastated but strong. Comments started pouring in. This is heartbreaking. Stay strong. Who would do that to family? You don't deserve this. Praying for you both. Some people only help so they can feel superior later. It didn't take a genius to know who they were talking about. I didn't comment. Didn't hit like. Didn't even text Dylan to tell him I saw it. That's what he wanted, a response. He wanted me to panic, to rush in and explain myself, to get dragged into a public back and forth that would only end with him playing the victim and me looking like the ungrateful, vengeful older brother. Instead, I logged off Facebook and opened my email. I sent 3 messages. First, to the business lender. Attached are PDFs of all payments I've made over the last 14 months toward the Richards business. Total, $32,780.37. Additionally, I've attached a notarized letter rescinding all personal financial guarantees going forward. Second, to the property manager. Please see attached proof that I am no longer financially or contractually responsible for the business suite. Also included, call transcript and payment records. Third, to my lawyer friend, Eric. Hey, need this call transcript reviewed. Yes, I recorded it. No, I'm not distributing it publicly. Just want to have it available in case they try anything. And I attached it those 2 minutes from the accidental call. Every word. Every fake laugh. Every jab about my job, my life, my supposed daddy issues. Not for the world. Just for the people who mattered, the ones who actually needed to know the truth. By Monday, I got a reply from the lender. Thank you for the detailed documentation. Your financial responsibility is fully terminated as of today. The property manager replied next. Understood. Dylan and Leah will need to reapply for lease renewal independently. Appreciate your professionalism. No firestorms. No drama. Just business. Meanwhile, Dylan's post picked up traction. Mutual friends were resharing it. I even saw my cousin comment, I had no idea Brian could be like that. Still, I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. Let the internet console him. Let the likes roll in. I wasn't playing defense anymore. I wasn't showing up to defend myself in a trial held on Facebook. I had receipts. The right people had them. And that was enough. Because justice doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it comes with silence and a paper trail. It started with the Wi-Fi. Dylan messaged me at 6:42 a.m. on Thursday morning. Dylan, hey man. Internet's down. Can you check the payment status? Classes are getting disrupted. I didn't reply. By noon, Leah chimed in. Leah, we're in the middle of a live stream class and the connection cut out. This is seriously unprofessional. Please fix whatever's going on. There was nothing to fix. The autopay was gone. The account had been in my name. I called the provider 2 days ago and canceled it outright. The final bill had already cleared. Next was the electricity. By Friday, the gym was dark. Literally. No lights. No treadmill screens. No charging ports for the smoothie blenders. Leah, Brian, this is serious. The lights are out. We're losing clients. If this is about the Facebook post, please don't punish the business. Be the bigger person. Funny how people beg for maturity after they've called you a pathetic control freak in front of 300 of their closest online friends. Again, I said nothing. I just kept moving down the list. Water service, canceled. Equipment lease guarantees, withdrawn. That one required a bit of paperwork, but my name was scrubbed from the contract before the weekend was out. And then finally, the insurance policy. It had been bundled under my group rate through a friend's commercial plan. I pulled the plug. That same day, they got an email from the provider, coverage terminated. By Sunday, Leah sent what would be her last message. Leah, you're seriously ruining our lives. We trusted you. We believed in you. I don't know what we ever did to deserve this, but I hope you're happy with yourself. Dylan is spiraling. Our marriage is strained. The gym is falling apart. You win. I didn't reply. I blocked her number. Not in anger, in peace. No more messages. No more guilt grenades disguised as late-night texts. No more being the emergency button they pressed whenever their poor planning caught up to them. On Monday, I heard through a mutual acquaintance that the eviction notice had been taped to the gym's front door. Apparently, the lease was voided due to non-payment and violation of terms. Word was, Dylan had a meltdown in the parking lot. Leah cried in the back office. Someone tried to run a yoga class by candlelight. I didn't go see it. Didn't drive by to witness the unraveling. I already knew what it looked like. I'd seen it for years in smaller ways. Quiet collapses hidden behind polite smiles. Requests framed as favors. Resentment disguised as gratitude. They thought they were punishing me with their silence. What they didn't understand was that silence was the goal. With every unpaid invoice and every shut-off notice, I wasn't getting revenge. I was reclaiming peace. One cancellation at a time. It was a week after the eviction when the message came in. Local Life Buzz, a small-town blog that covered everything from food trucks to zoning board drama, had DM'd me on Instagram. Hi Brian. My name's Rachel, I write for Local Life Buzz. We've seen Dylan's recent Facebook post gain a lot of traction and a few readers have reached out wanting both sides of the story. Would you be open to an interview? Totally your call. Thought I'd ask. I stared at it for a long time. An interview. A chance to finally clear the air, to call them out, to show people the full picture. Part of me wanted to say yes. God, part of me wanted to lay everything bare, every payment, every insult, every condescending laugh they thought I hadn't heard. But instead I replied. Appreciate you reaching out. No comment. Not interested in publicity. And I meant it. I didn't need a spotlight. I'd lived in the shadows of my own generosity for years. This wasn't about vindication. It was about closure. Still, the next day I posted something. Just one post. One photo. One caption. It was a clean shot of my dining table, plain wood, a stack of paper to the side, and my laptop open to a spreadsheet titled, Gym Support, 14 months. The caption read, * 14 months. $32,780.37 in loan payments, rent subsidies, and bills. Never missed a transfer. Never asked for a thank you. 3 minutes of overheard mockery taught me more than 34 years of trying to earn respect ever did. This isn't revenge. It's reality. I didn't stop helping. I stopped pretending it was mutual. *. No hashtags. No tags. No dramatic emojis. Just the facts. By the next morning, it had over 900 shares. Then 2,000. Then 5. I started getting messages. Not from family, from strangers. People who had read Dylan's post and wondered if there was more to the story. People who had been in my shoes. People who were tired of being the quiet givers in families that only spoke their names when something needed fixing. Thank you for this. I thought I was alone. This hits so hard. I'm on year 3 of paying my brother's rent while he calls me boring behind my back. You didn't lash out. You laid it out. Respect. Even the blog writer messaged again. Your post speaks for itself. No need for an interview. People are connecting the dots. I didn't respond. Didn't need to. The comments on Dylan's original post started changing. The tone had shifted. Gone were the rallying cries of "you deserve better." Now there were questions. Is this about that loan? Someone posted receipts. Wait, wasn't your business funded by him? Maybe don't bite the hand that was feeding you? Eventually, Dylan locked the comments. Leah's profile went private. The original post disappeared entirely by the end of the week. And I stayed quiet. No, I told you so. No celebration. No satisfaction in their social media retreat. Just peace. People always assume closure comes with fireworks, dramatic endings, courtroom showdowns, viral clapbacks. But the truth? Real closure is quiet. It's a full inbox you don't feel the need to answer. It's a truth finally told, not screamed, but stated plainly. No vengeance. No victory laps. Just the calm that comes after years of noise. 2 weeks later, I got the final confirmation. An email from the property manager. Subject line, tenant exit confirmed. The body was short. * Brian. Dylan and Leah vacated the premises as of Thursday. Property was left in poor condition. Utilities were disconnected. Equipment removed. Space abandoned. You are no longer affiliated in any way. Thank you for your communication throughout this process. *. I stared at the message for a few seconds, then hit archive. Just like that, it was done. No more contracts. No more bills. No more indirect ties holding me hostage in the name of family. That night, I sat at the kitchen table and opened the last folder, a real one this time, not a spreadsheet. Inside were the physical copies of all the gym paperwork, loan cosign forms, utility registrations, payment summaries. I skimmed through it all one final time. Then I closed it, slid it back into the manila sleeve, and walked it over to the shredder in my home office. It took 5 minutes. 5 minutes to erase 14 months of bailing them out and nearly 3 decades of being the guy no one ever really saw, just counted on. I stood there, watching the last of the documents curl through the blades, and felt lighter than I had in years. No speeches. No righteous declarations. Just a simple ending. Dinner that night was nothing special: frozen ravioli, salad from a bag, garlic bread I almost burned. But I set the table for 2 anyway. I always did that. Some leftover habit from years of thinking one day I'd have someone across from me. Maybe a partner. Maybe a kid. Maybe just a friend who wasn't there because they needed a check signed. But tonight, that extra plate felt different. It wasn't hopeful. It wasn't sad. It was symbolic. I ate slowly, savoring the quiet. No texts buzzing. No unread messages. No guilt waiting for a callback. For the first time in as long as I could remember, I didn't feel the need to explain anything to anyone. Not my choices. Not my boundaries. Not my silence. When I finished, I cleared the table, washed the dishes, and turned out the lights. And as I settled into the couch, remote in hand, feet up, it hit me. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't even hurt. I was free. And not just from Dylan and Leah. From the whole idea that love has to be proven through sacrifice. That family means letting yourself bleed quietly, endlessly. No. Love, real love, has to leave space for dignity. And mine finally had a place to breathe.